Hi, I'm Erica Moore, Regional Vice President with Five Rings Financial in the DC area. I want to take just a few minutes to give you some tips and ideas about how to be more effective in your inviting with Five Rings. You probably realize or recognize that one of the things that makes Five Rings so special is our system for how we go about meeting and interacting with new people. And our educational events are really the secret sauce with Five Rings. And if you've been around for a while, you have probably gone to a Money 101 or a Wine, Women, and Wealth event, and you sat there and you wished you had had more guests in attendance. And if you're brand new, you probably are not quite sure how to go about inviting guests so that they'll actually come to the workshops. For Five Rings, what happens over time is that when you invite people, we don't pressure them. We don't sell them anything. We don't put a sticky name tag on them. They come to our workshops, whether it's Wine, Women, and Wealth or Money 101 or some other money talk. They come to the workshop, they learn something valuable, they have a great time, they meet wonderful people. And at the end of it, they always think of somebody they know that they wished had come. And so, what that sets up for you as an agent is an army of people who love what we do, who will invite other people for you. But you have to be the one that starts the ball rolling. And so I want to give you some tips and ideas. And I want to thank Jack Waldron, our executive VP down in the Dallas, Texas area, because this is a system he's been using very effectively with his team for the last at least year or so, and they are the fastest growing group in Five Rings Financial. And the main reason is because they get in front of more people than anyone else, and that's really the key to success in Five Rings. The agents that get in front of the most people are the ones that ultimately grow the biggest businesses and make the most money. So let's get into it. Three rules. First of all, before you start inviting, there are three rules that you want to follow. First one is emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. And I know that's not easy to do, but when you're making calls and inviting people, you really have to get yourself to a point where you are not married to the outcome. You're inviting, you're giving them the opportunity, and if they come, that's wonderful. If they don't come, that's wonderful too. You've done your part. So, emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. Our goal is to educate and to get people to understand principles and fundamentals about money. And if you make the invitation and you do it well, and they choose not to come, well, next. The second thing is to relax and be yourself. It would be really weird if you called up your best friend and you said, "Hi, Mary, this is Erica. I am calling because I'd like to invite you to this phenomenal financial workshop," and you sound unnatural. So be yourself. Yourself is who your friends and family are expecting when they pick up the phone, and it's you. They are not expecting a robot. They're not expecting somebody super formal. They're expecting you. So be yourself, relax, and have a good time with it. And then the third thing is speak with passion. So you can be yourself, but maybe just a slightly more excited version of yourself when you're making those calls. So those are the three rules before you get started. Emotionally detach yourself, be yourself, and speak with passion. So we're going to get into the 7 steps to the perfect invite. The very first thing before you pick up the call, before you pick up the phone, is to make sure that in your head you've decided that you're in a hurry. So the very first thing that you want to say when you get on the phone is you want to make sure that that person knows that you're in a hurry. Something like, "Hey, I'm glad I caught you. I'm running into a meeting. Do you have a second?" And then continue. Or, "I'm running into something, but I'm glad I caught you." Speak quickly, be in a hurry. Okay? So that's step number one, be in a hurry. And you'll understand in a minute why you want to be in a hurry. The second thing is to actually make the invite. Don't beat around the bush because remember, you just said you're in a hurry. So don't beat around the bush. Um, and there are three ways that you can make the invite. There's the direct approach, the indirect approach, and the super indirect approach. So the direct approach is something like this. I went to work for this company called Five Rings Financial, which is kind of like a Merrill Lynch, except that we help all Americans instead of just millionaires. Five Rings created a dinner called Money 101 to teach people about money and how money works because we go to school for 12 to 16 years and we never learn anything about it. It's awesome. That's a direct approach. You're directly inviting them to come to the workshop. So be yourself again. You don't have to use exactly those words, but you want to directly invite. That's the direct approach. The second one is the indirect approach. And this can be really great for a new agent that has a warm market. So it goes something like this. I've always respected your opinion. Will you come with me and tell me honestly what you think? This is a great approach to someone that, say, you look up to. I remember inviting one of my uncles that way to an event. He's a very successful doctor. I've always looked up to him, and it was uncomfortable for me to invite him directly. So I used an indirect approach. I've always respected, and it was true. I have. I've always respected him and looked up to him, and I wanted him to come and check it out. So that's the indirect approach. And then the super indirect approach goes something like this. It's for someone maybe that's of a high net worth, high status, that sort of thing. I'm sure this wouldn't be for you, but do you know anyone that could benefit from some financial education? Great. Well, I'm sure you would want to check it out first before you told me to call them. And so it's a very indirect way. It's you're acknowledging that perhaps they're beyond money 101, but maybe they know someone who could benefit. And we don't usually like to recommend something unless we've experienced it for ourselves. So that's a super indirect approach. During a Team 200 video, Mike was talking about these 7 steps, and one of the things that he said is the indirect approach, the second thing that we talked about, is that it works. It often works, but it very rarely results in business. And so he highly recommends either number one, the direct approach, or number three, the super indirect approach. The third thing, third step is the if I could, would you? All right. So it goes something like this. If I could get you a seat at the next Money 101, would you go? Real simple. If I could get you a seat at the next Wine, Women, and Wealth, would you go? Now, if they say no, see if you can find out why, what the concern is. Sometimes it's just, simply their schedule is really tight. But if you don't ask, then you're going to assume it's something you did wrong or something you said, and often it has absolutely nothing to do with you. So ask what their concern is, but don't be pushy because remember, we are the no pressure company. Number four, the confirmation of date and time goes something like this. Great. We have 2 coming up next Monday and next Tuesday evening. Which would be better for you? Try not to give them just one option. So let's say you're in a market where you only have one Money 101 coming up or only one Wine, Women, and Wealth. What you can also offer is you can offer Tuesday Money 101 or an opportunity to sit down with you and your field trainer. So always give them 2 options. So step number 5 is confirmation number 2. Once they've said yes, you want to confirm it one more time. Something like this. Are you totally sure you're going to be able to make it? Because if for some reason you can't make it, please let me know so I can give someone else your seat. We do not like to have anything taken away. And so that really is an emotional thing. When you tell them that you are going to give away their seat, man, there's something inside of them that doesn't want to give away anything. So remember, you just want to do that second confirmation and kind of take it away. All right. Number 6, and this is where a lot of agents mess up, get off the phone. Remember, you were in a hurry. Get off the phone. If you don't get off the phone, this is why you're in a hurry. If you don't get off the phone, they're going to think it's time to ask you 20 questions. And it's not that we want to be evasive, but what we really want is for the entire event to unfold in front of them when they're a guest in the room. The more questions you answer, the less likely they are to actually attend the event. They're going to think they learned it all, they know it all, you answered all the questions, there's no need to go. So it won't seem odd if you told them in step 1 that you were in a hurry if you then get off the phone. If they start to ask questions, simply say, hey, all that stuff's going to be answered on Wednesday night at Money 101, or we can chat about it then. But get off the phone. Get off the phone. And then last but not least, step number 7 is follow up 24 to 48 hours ahead of the class and let them know how excited you are that they're coming. That's another important step that often agents are, for whatever reason, reluctant to do. Maybe they're afraid the person is all of a sudden going to cancel on them. But here's the thing, it's better you know that 24 to 48 hours ahead of time than for you to be standing with your face pressed against the glass at the Money 101 event waiting for them to come. So give them a call. Oftentimes people forget. Money 101 and Wine, Women, and Wealth, well, they're super important to us. And if your guests only knew, it'd be super important to them too. But we're excited. We would never forget about Money 101 or Wine, Women, and Wealth. But our guests, they're not quite as excited as we are. And so giving them that reminder 24 to 48 hours will increase the number of people that show up. I guarantee you that if you don't do that step, you're going to have some people who don't show up simply because they forgot. So those are the 7 steps to inviting. And I want to empower you to go ahead and try it. And I know if this is something new for you, you may be a little nervous about doing it. So I want to share just a little snip. And I know this is backwards on a video, but it's The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy, one of the best books that I have read about entrepreneurship. And it really tells the truth. I mean, the real deal about the bumps, the bruises, the ups, and the downs. It's not one of those entrepreneurship books that's written through rose-colored glasses. But here's one of the things that I think might be important for you to hear right now as you're going to embark on your inviting. So Darren Hardy had gone to a workshop and he was learning how to get better at what he was doing. And he asked the speaker to give him a tip. And what the speaker said was, my best tip is to go fail a lot. And Darren Hardy said, he was really confused by that. And so he went on to elaborate. The key to success is massive failure. Your goal is to outfail your competition. In most businesses, whoever can fail the most, the fastest, and the biggest wins. And I know that's contrary to popular belief, but really, if you're nervous about this, about inviting, do it anyway, even if you're not perfect at it. And I guarantee you, you won't be great at it in the beginning. You've got to be horrible before you're bad, and you got to be bad before you're average, and you've got to be average before you're good, and you've got to be good before you're great. So you got to start. So even if you're nervous, pick up the phone and make a call. And the worst you can do is be horrible. And if you keep doing it, soon you'll be bad, and so on. So I encourage you to do that. And I'll leave one more thing with you. If you need help, if the phone feels heavy, if this is challenging for you, I'm happy to help. So reach out. Um, and I'm here for you. So happy inviting.